What's up, everybody? Hey, Tom Laird here, host of the Advice from a Call Center Geek podcast and founder of Expivia. For exceptional contact center outsourcing, trust Expivia. We're fully AI-driven, as all of you know, and can handle voice, email, chat, and all of your digital channels. Our 600-seat USA contact center is expert in healthcare, financial services, insurance, tech support, retail, and more. Experts on the NICE CX1 platform, we ensure seamless customer experiences. DM me or visit expiviausa.com for more.
This is Advice from a Call Center Geek, a weekly podcast with a focus on all things call center. We'll cover it all from call center operations, hiring, culture, technology, and education. We're here to give you actionable items to improve the quality of yours and your customers' experience. This is an evolving industry with creative minds and ambitious people like this guy. Not only is his passion call center operations, but he's our host. He's the CEO of Expivia Interaction Marketing Group and the call center geek himself, Tom Laird.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Advice from a Call Center Geek, the call center contact center podcast, where we try to give you some actionable items to take back in your contact center, improve the overall quality, improve your agent experience, hopefully improve the customer experience as well. My name is Tom Laird. I am the CEO of Expivia Interaction Marketing. Expivia is a rapidly growing work from home, brick from mortar, not sure really what we are. We're definitely a hybrid contact center outsourcer located here in northwestern Pennsylvania with about 600 plus agents. So how's everybody doing? I had a little bit of a hiatus here the last almost 2 weeks, which was not intentional. I tested positive for COVID about, 10-ish days ago. And it wasn't fun really at the beginning. Nothing terrible, right? Nothing like the horror stories that you hear with it. But, I found it very difficult to breathe. The massive, the bad headache. I couldn't think. I felt stupid, right? So, there's a couple episodes that I wanted to do over the last 2 weeks that just really couldn't put together with how I felt, and then, obviously still trying to run my main business. So again, I apologize for a little bit of a delay, but I wanted to kind of talk this through with you guys. Now that I've kind of had a firsthand experience with COVID, maybe how it's changed the perception I have even for my associates and for my reps, even though that we're work from home. I don't know if this will help you kind of get through some of this. I want to talk through the mandate as well, the vaccine mandate. I know there's a lot of contact centers out there that, have over 100 agents, and a lot of you are, you might only have 25 agents in your call center, but your organization that you work for has over 100. I wanted to kind of talk you through some of the ways that we're kind of dealing with that and how we will deal with that moving forward. But let me just give you, my quick kind of rundown on how I've felt. So I started to not really be able to take really deep breaths, right? So I couldn't, I was just laboring, right? Even just sitting in my chair in my office working, couldn't really breathe, couldn't take deep breaths, got a little worried. I did smoke when I was younger. I smoked for probably till I was about 35. And so I've not smoked for probably about the last 10 years, but that's still worrisome, right? It's always kind of in the back of my head. Did I screw up and hurt my lungs so bad that it's going to be like this? Is this my lungs? Is this smoking? Is this COVID? So I went to the doctor. I started getting headaches and, just feeling lethargic. And you guys, I don't know. I know you don't know me, but I think you kind of feel I'm kind of a higher energy type person. So it was, a pretty big swing for me. And people are like, hey man, you're not right. So go get checked. So, and then I did get tested positive. My daughter then tested positive as well. Probably a day later. She, I think, had I want to say worse than me. I mean, kids, she's 9. So she got the strep throat, the 103-degree temperature. Poor kid just felt terrible. Nothing scary, but just you saw her and you're like, oh man. I kind of wish that I had that and she had what I had, which is, much lighter. My son, who is 6, is fine, totally fine, running around and wanted to play the whole time. So I did my first work from home stint. I've done a work from home maybe for a day or two, but even through COVID, I was in the office every day. I'm more of I need to be regimented, especially when my kids are here. I'll end up throwing a football, playing Madden, screwing around. I need that structure of just, me alone in my office. That's how I really can get things done. And, I like to talk to the people and talk to my employees and talk to the team members and the leadership and reps and all that. And it's harder to do work from home, but I had no choice. My kids also had to quarantine, right? So they were here. My wife did test. She's fully vaccinated. She tested negative so she could continue, and she went into work. I am fully vaccinated. So, I'm I don't know, those breakthrough cases or, one of those types of cases. And I think, to be honest, I'm glad I was vaccinated because it was bad, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't anything horrific, but I could see if I was not vaccinated, how it could have been. It could have been way worse. But I will tell you, I think I've changed my opinion or changed my thought process. I don't know about my opinion, but changed my thought process on when my employees get COVID. I think my first initial reaction was, if you're fully vaxxed, it's not that bad. You work from home right now. Why can't you work? And I wouldn't say that, right? Because everybody's got to take a day or two off. But, I was 7 days into this thing, and I didn't feel great at all. Like it was very difficult for me to work. And I'll be honest, I think my job is much easier than the frontline reps. I'm dealing with maybe some heavier things, but I'm not taking call after call after call after call after call, trying to help customers, going through multiple screens, making sure that my tone is right, that I'm smiling, that I'm trying to fake it as I'm feeling terrible. So that's something that I'm a little bit more, I think, I don't know. I'm as you guys know me, and I don't mean to ramble here, but I am very employee centric, but I guess this is something you kind of had to go through and really feel how it made you feel before you really, can relate. But I think I'm going to give my employees a little bit more leeway here, especially taking more time off, making sure that they're okay before they come back, even from a work from home standpoint. It is difficult most of the time. If you get COVID and you test, your kids are normally with you too, because you're all quarantining, which makes that, back to kind of last year's difficulty with, dealing with kids, dealing with school, dealing with your job. So take it easy on employees. Take it easy on your reps. Give them a couple extra days for sure. Obviously, if they're really sick, they're not, give them whatever they need. But if they're kind of even feeling, when they say, hey, I'm okay, they're not, right? It's this lingering, I don't know, it's hard to explain, just lingering kind of stupidness that you feel, and you just don't feel right. And it's very difficult to really fake it. I guess that's the hardest part, right? A lot of times, like if you have a cold or the flu, you can kind of fake it. COVID's different. It wipes you. It's almost like when I was younger and I was in grade school and I had mono. And for all the mono, it just kind of totally wipes you. And that's kind of how I felt. But it gave me some time to think, even COVID-wise. And one of the things that, I wanted to talk to you guys about here too, from a substance, I guess just more than an anecdotal COVID story for me, is talking about the vaccine mandate. And it's worrisome. I'm not going to lie. I am totally, I don't get political here, but I'm totally against it. I think it's unfair for any business to be dictating, what an employee should put into their body. I don't think that's fair for me to, have to make decisions on maybe pregnant team members, or, team members that, may have some type of pre-existing condition that they don't feel comfortable with it, that their doctor may have had conversations with them. I don't want to get into it, and it's not my call, and it should be left up to the individual, their doctor. It's their decision. It shouldn't be my decision. And the other thing is, I don't want to lay anybody off. Number one, I don't want to lay anybody off because I don't want to lay anybody off. Number two, as you know, everybody needs as many people right now as they can possibly get. We are super lucky. Erie, Pennsylvania has kind of been shielded from most of that issues with trying to find employees. Just even I'm finding employees just through Facebook posts right now, which has been awesome. And we've blown up again with our COVID lines and our 211 and working for the different states with vaccinations. And, now it's going to be children getting vaccinated. So, those are going to continue. But what we're doing for the vaccine mandate. So for those of you who don't know, and I'm sure most of you do, if you are an employer of over 100, the government just came out and basically said by January 4th, all of your employees need to be either vaccinated or they need to be submitting to weekly testing. So we're at the point now where we're trying to educate. So Erie County as a whole, we're about 60 to 70% fully vaccinated, which is, well under even the national average. There's just some hesitancy, overall in our employees and my employees and just, I think, in the area that we live in to get vaccinated. So we did a survey and I have about, 55% of my employees, which is a very low number, fully vaccinated, and it's like 62% that are at least have one shot and plan on getting the next. And again, 38% or whatever that math comes out to, that basically says they're not going to get vaccinated or they don't plan on getting vaccinated. So kind of what I'm doing now and what I would suggest for you is just to kind of start to talk to everybody, tell them kind of what this mandate means. I'm not taking the blame for this, right? I am not going to say, hey, we're not doing this on our own, right? This is the government kind of coming down. I know that's kind of just how I feel. So, this is a $14,000 fine if you do not get vaccinated or if you do not submit to daily testing. We will work with you on the testing aspect if that's what you want. But guys, I really would love you to think about getting vaccinated. We're going to bring in vaccine kind of buses, I guess, right? So they can come in and they can get vaccinated at work if that's something that they want to do. We're going to try to make this as easy as they can. We have given them, and they have, Amazon gift cards. Well, obviously, are going to pay for them to go get vaccinated. We're bonusing them with Amazon gift cards if they go and they get vaccinated. So we're really trying to do everything we possibly can to get that done. I will tell you, though, that we're overstaffing right now for programs, and I've talked to clients. So we're trying to, go about 10% over what we need for our staffing numbers and for training, and trying to just say, hey, if things do get to the point where I have to lay you off, I don't want to. But if you're not going to get tested, you're not going to do the vaccine. I can't afford to have, 200 people, 250 people give me a $14,000 fine, right? It can't work. I hate it. I think it's ridiculous. But that's kind of the reality of the situation that we're in. So again, right now I'm personally kind of almost pleading with people to get it if they're going to get it. If they want to get tested and they want to do it weekly, we're trying to set up some easy ways for them to be able to do that, even to be able to do it here at Expivia. Looking at some rapid tests that we can get, looking for how we can get them in and out quickly, because again, that's on our dime. The thing that's scary about this is if someone quits or if they get quote unquote fired because we have to, not because we want to, then, they don't get unemployment, which is going to cause a ton of other issues. Again, I'm not going to get political. We're not going to go down that wormhole here, but it's just a very frustrating situation. I know for a lot of you guys that are out there. So again, don't just wait. Be talking to your reps constantly about this, not pushing anything down your throat, but tell them the reality of the situation. A lot of them think that or don't really know what's about to happen. And again, I'm praying that there's just a ton of lawsuits and this thing gets pushed and this is all kind of a big giant boogeyman. That would be great. but you got to kind of, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. And it's a frustrating situation that we're all in. So this seems like it's way worse than last year for me. We were dealing in 2020 with a ton of the 211s. We figured out our work from home strategy. Everything was really going well. COVID did not hit us hard at all 2020. 2021, COVID has hit us hard. We've had employees in the hospital. We've had employees, thank God no one has passed away, but we've had employees on ventilators. We've had the really, really sick, and most of them have not been vaccinated. And I think this Delta variant's a little bit different, right? So it's changed my thought process on what COVID is, how bad it can get, how much time I need to give employees, how much leeway to give employees. They deserve the benefit of the doubt for all of this, because it's not just a physical sickness that you get, but it's the emotional side of it, it's the family side of it, it's the dealing with the kids and the school, because you go back to being that quarantined standpoint. So again, we're kind of getting through it as much as we can. I don't mean to be like a Debbie Downer. I know I'm recording this, I'm seeing my seeing kind of the volumes on my board here, and they're staying in like tones that I can see as like depressing, right? Like sometimes they get hot, and I can tell when I have high energy on this thing. But I'm still getting through this. I'm still feeling better. I'm gonna get back to the office on Monday, so I'll have another actual call center episode on Monday. But again, those are some of my thoughts on COVID, some of my thoughts on the mandate, how you can deal with it in your call center. Make sure that you're dealing with talking to your employees, and then unfortunately, you're going to have to make sure that you create a policy that kind of explains everything to them. Make sure that they see that policy. It's kind of the bad part of, doing the business aspect of this thing. But, we don't have a choice. This is kind of being forced down upon everyone. So you just kind of try to make the best of it, try to save what you can. And hopefully it passes. Hopefully there's lawsuits. Hopefully we don't have to do it. Hopefully we don't have to lay anybody off. And I hope that all of you guys are finding the employees that you need in this environment. I will talk a little bit about more about that on next week's episode. So thank you guys very much. Hopefully I'll be in a little bit, I'll sound a little better. I know I can still sound a little raspy, but I'm doing good. Hope you guys are all doing good. And I'll talk to you guys next week.